just a routine felling cut where I say, I think the wind will work against the side lean. So it's not that hard to advance your rope rather than cutting on just a lanyard. You know, you just keep flipping it up there. Alright. Okay, flag is indicating wind out of the south. Temperature would be indicating the same. It's about 50 degrees. Beautiful winter day. I have these 6 pines closest to the house here. Well, let's work this little battery one. Should get her done. I wonder if I should set up my phone. Start my timer, might as well do that. Good old jobber. Put a plug in for jobber. Where am I want to be? Yeah, I think I'm putting pine tar on my screen. Oh, watch me pull out the middle of the rope again. I'm amazed at how I can reach into a bag of rope. I know, tie a knot on the front of your rope. But I grab the middle of the rope more often than not. Here we go. So that is as good as a quickie. You don't have to worry about it side loading. Okay. Come on. All right. Put my akimbo on. I need to buy a new akimbo. You guys can start counting how many times I say that. I need to buy a new akimbo. All right. Let's start cutting. Come on. All right. Take off then. Oh, it still snagged me, you devil. Oh well. You can't take a couple hits once in a while. Are you really a tree guy? Sometimes I just say, yeah, if it hits me, it hits me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, when it really isn't big enough to matter. Well, there goes my supervision. Oh well. Big boys play alone, I guess. How'd I wrap that up like that? That's sick. All right. My saw, okay. I don't want to slap my saw. All right, these are straight drop cuts for white pine. And I'll tell you, and we were talking about, you know, cutting out from, it tends to tear, you know, in this branch collar. So if we tried to cut this whole thing off, we might get a tear. But if we cut out here, we get a nice drop. Horses are nervous. He's got a couple of draft horses out there. Clydesdale looking things. They're curious. Look at them. Frisky. What's going on over there? They might not be so frisky if I was running a gas saw. Look at them prance. Come on, Daniel. Beautiful day. Man, I know it's just killing trees, but this is just, it's good exercise. Okay, don't hit your saw. I'm gonna bring this down. I'm just gonna cut the whole top off. Let's double check our weight. I think we're good. That worked. Nice. I like that battery saw for that. Look, I got a little tear. The side curves are good, but I knew I had all this. That tear was not going to come through all this. So I didn't make my side curves on that. Normally on a top felling, I'll zip the sapwood on that so that can't affect you. You know, if you got a straight trunk below you, that comes down, tears against your lanyard, pulls you into the trunk. But not a major deal. So white pine, kind of brittle, little thicker hinge. I just let it go once it started going. But electric saw is nice. It stops making noise. You get to hear the hinge wood and everything. Okay, I think I can just fall that trunk right on top of that. So that one I cut out farther out the stick, so I knew it was going to drop down. This last one I was just showing what you do when you race it through. You know, the butt ended up landing at the trunk because it tilted point down first. All right, you know, I could just drop cut this big one right straight out of there. That could be fun. Wonder if it'll come. Is it snagged up in there? Well, I'll be up there anyway, so I'll get those branches out of the way. And I'll come back down here. I'm just gonna drop that straight down and then it'll lay down that way. That'll be a good one. I have got white pine tar on my lanyard already. Looking bad. It's gonna get on my akimbo. That's what happens when you get 50-degree days in February. That's what I like about having the 550 up here. you just rip through the backside of some of those limbs. All right, let's get our... What I like about running my line like this is kind of like a 2-in-1 lanyard. You're just working it up the tree as you go. And I can take my lanyard off and get that up there too. All right. There I chose to cut out there because this was gonna come down and rake me. If I tried to cut it here, it would come across me. So you just go out, cut it out there, then make your finish cut. All right, so I have this piece that probably drops right there, and that piece I'm gonna drop right out of there, and we're gonna have the butt hit. Then it'll roll over, and if it rolls down by the septic, it won't matter. All right. We cut a generous bottom curve. Okay. Starting to set on that. Now I'm just gonna go hard from the top. Perfect. So my butt hit first. That was the main impact. And then it just rolled down by the septic. Harmlessly. Nice. And yeah, it popped a bunch out there. This is white pine, so it's brittle. You know, hickory or something, I wouldn't have gotten that. It would have twisted all the way over. Hickory would have beat me on that. But white pine broke free. So I was coming down kind of on, right on cue, a little bit behind so that it can't take my kerf, take my saw bar in the kerf. So I'm happy with that. Now this one, I could go up a little higher. I kind of don't have a good cutting angle in here, so I could go right up there and I could cut that off of there. All right. I'm not in a rush. Then I'm going to be pretty much ready to dump this top right over here. I had to get a good angle so I could get this top side over here. So I had to actually, you know, flip my saw over and cut backwards, which, I mean, that worked. I got it all the way cut through. It started to break out and I kept cutting. So butt hit first, actually broke in half, which was in my favor. Nothing went towards the house. All right. Now let's wiggle around and take a look at our weight. I could take these two off, and this one might hang up. Oh, gonna get my camera. Oh, okay. But now I don't really have that front lean. This protects me from the back weight. I don't have a clean fall. I could count on the south wind pulling that. I could fall it straight that way. Let's see if I have that. Let's get down a little lower. Do I have enough top up there in the wind to get it pushed over? That is the question. I can feel the wind on me. It just looks like back weight here. Man. I could go up and cut that off. But if I get it going straight that way, he's taking all these down, so it doesn't matter. I think that south breeze is gonna, it's blowing constantly. You can see it on those. It's gonna catch the top. Alright, the south breeze went in my favor, so nice little hinge. This worked. It broke off, so it might have tore down here. So there you go. Just a routine felling cut where I say I think the wind will work against the side lean and push it over while I'm strapped to the trunk. But it's a consistent wind today, so I didn't think that was a outlandish risk. All right, now we can fall this trunk. All right, this one I'm gonna have to go up a little higher, make it a little shorter. Oh. All right, gives me a little I know, ordinarily not over shoulder height. So that was one of those exceptions where it was safer than cutting all next to my lanyard, close to the ground. It's gonna be a lot of cutting. Try to do that next to you, you'll have that in your lap, but that went under my feet because I chose to cut it out 2 feet. So it's not that hard to advance your rope rather than cutting on just a lanyard. You just keep flipping it up. Almost threw my chain. I hate it when I'm working alone and I throw my chain. Guess I could have left it running, cut these over here. get sassy. Let's see if I can't get myself up there. All right. Let's see, me a little Mickey Mousing around. I could do a spear cut. That's a big spear cut. Should I? Gonna come off of those and get to the house? What's it holding on to? It's all tied up in there. I better go a little higher. That'd be fun. I could do it with a big log. If I spear cut it, well, it'll probably break all those on the way down. Or break the one that's sticking out. So if that tilts it, my butt could go between those two. I don't know. If anything, it tilts it this way, but then can it come back on me? I got these kind of as my cover. I think I got it. Wanted to hang on, stay on the cut. I got a little bit behind. Behind is okay because it can't take your saw, but if you're behind, you usually have to cut a little bit farther to get it to break. So it worked out pretty good. That hanger right up there, you know, is what held it. It wasn't gonna like fall towards the house. So, and I knew if I could get the butt going, my butt hit first. So you just gotta stay on that cut, commit. I mean, you're committed obviously when you make the decision, but yeah, so now these start to look like they'll go that way with the wind. What do you think? I think so. Make this a little faster. We can get over here and cut these off. Get some of this back weight off. That baby just lays right down. Your fuel, Kev. I better fill up when I'm done with this tree. I think it goes. We got a strong south wind.
folks.
It rolled out of there and still broke this side of the hinge first. See that? But look at it, it's way over here, nowhere close to the house. But it caught those branches and kind of started twisting on the hinge. So this broke first. Maybe I caught that on video. Now this one's very similar to the last one over there, where we kind of got to lean that way, so we're going to rely on the south wind to push us. This one will cut our relief cuts in. Go down a little bit. So now I'm not even on that thing. Now I don't have to compromise my sapwood on the hinge. I don't have to cut it with each cut. I'll just make it back. Perfect. Hopefully my camera caught that hinge. That broke nicely straight across. Didn't pull off of this side at all. Nice wind. Perfect. It's a little long to flip all the way over, but it really doesn't matter. There you go. We mitigated that problem of being too tall to flip over by putting it right on that log. Don't try that early on. It takes a lot of skill to do that. I should have called the shot. It really doesn't matter if I didn't call a shot. All right, so I'll cut this stub off for the lawn's sake. Although falling it on top of that stuff, probably gonna be okay with that. Climbing line wasn't choked on that last cut. I'm sure somebody caught me on that. Now this Big Dan, this can be any which way here. It's 5,000 pounds to 11,000 pounds, any way you load it. So that's what I like about that. Okay, we should be able to lay this one flat. Doggone you, Kev. I was behind the notch. Should have paid attention to the backside. So that narrow notch would have closed and then dropped it off flat. And I didn't get detailed about it. I wasn't right behind it, so that allowed this to hang on. But We got a little bit of frost in the ground. It's no big deal. I don't know if this guy is going to appreciate the amount of mess. The question is, do I want to lay that down first and then lay this down on top of it? And then we could drop off this side weight. We could probably lay that next one down. I don't know. It's got a little lean towards the house. White pine on a windy day. I don't know. We'll be climbing up that one. And then this one, take off this back weight and then just lay her down. This one's a little heavy to the house. And our wind is changing from the south to the south, out of the southwest. So out of the southwest kind of puts these three right on the house. Although that one's just a really elementary run. A couple of head and shoulder cuts here. They'll want to come get you sometimes. When you're close to the ground like this, you know, if the tips drop, you know, they can come and land in your lap. Now these are ones you could catch in your lap, right like this. So I'm going to cut out a little bit. Hit your knee. Taylor injured his knee pretty bad last year or Of course, I could put that right back at the back end of my car. That's not a half bad idea. I'll get up a little higher. There's room there. I think my guy's home. So now it won't just be me that's nervous, it'll be him that's nervous. Especially if he hears me talking to you. Well, I think it should go. You think I should try it? Yeah, let's try it. Heck with it. What's the worst could happen? It's only siding. I know it's kind of a pain moving your junk up here like this, but it's just the best way to do it. Other than setting a line. I mean, I could set a line, but I really don't appreciate setting lines in conifers. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine those poor guys out west. You know, I empathize with them. Who wants to set a line in a conifer every day? Just throw your buck strap on and go up there and cut branches off, you know? pretty painless just to run up here. You know, I was kind of getting excited about felling stuff, but you know, when you have the ability to climb, and it's like to fall these, it's kind of like, what if that wind comes up? You know, what if I'm halfway through the back cut and that wind switches out of the west, and I got all this side weight going right for that corner. I mean, if it tilted a little bit to the west, I got some grace until it gets right there. And there's quite a bit of weight. If I get up a little bit higher here, I just got an easy drop right there. I'm comfortable with climbing it. If I'd have cut that right off, it would have hit my foot. It would have went down and tagged my foot. And I'm kind of on a, I mean, it wouldn't have felt good. So I kind of stayed on the cut and pushed it away. You know, it's good to be thinking about, you know, what's the tree gonna do? What's it done in the past on you? You know, and sometimes, I mean, if you're like me, now maybe you just have the perfect personality and you just think of everything all the time, never forgetting anything. Maybe that's you. That's not me. You know, I do a dangerous job and I don't remember everything all the time. You know, I don't. So sometimes I'm in the midst of something, I'm going, oh, yeah, I'm in the middle of a cut. That's going to hit my foot. Adjust the cut and don't hit your foot. You know, now that's something you know, ideally I should have thought of ahead of time. Hey, move my foot, get in a better position. But you get cutting in production and you just cut. Now this, obviously this is back here. That's out there. We got those kind of in the way. And I know in the tree, I reach over my head a lot. You just want to be cognizant where that bar is. Look at that. Now it's going to come on. Now see how that looks? Just to lay that baby down right there. But we have now kind of a straight south wind. It's shifting. It's kind of, sometimes it's up straight out of the south. Now look at it. Just like that, it's out of the west. Now it's back kind of south. So it's oscillating. We got an oscillating fan on us today, folks. I got a bunch of brush on my rope down there. But you know, now that I'm up this high, you know, who cares? Just finish it. Now I think I can just drop this any old way. I might leave that out there to catch the wind. Oh, look at it there. Doggone it. It's all wrapped up in it. Well, we are just gonna do it. We're getting short tops now. I mean, we're right up here. I'm just gonna have nothing but wood to chunk down. My rope's all crunched down there. All right, it's time to pull. Tired of working against it. There we go. Now I have everything I need. And now it's leaning, you know, away from me kind of. So I could put this top right down in there. Okay. Get a foot over here for balance. A slash cut. It's going to fall forward into that. Yep. And then it's going to fall straight down. So, if we had to preserve this tree next to us, this is the kind of cut I would make. And then the butt hits first. Now the wind brought it back towards me, but the west wind was pushing it off that way, but we did have a little wind effect there. That was exciting. So we totally missed that tree is the point. This one, it's a little crowded over here, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut a couple of these branches so they can't whip me. To the phone, that's gonna make a good shot. That's good. So that tipped forward, then hit those, came off, and the butt went out that way. So it landed 2 feet from my phone. That's awesome. It's gonna be a good shot. All right, so you know, a lot of these brake cuts from this height, they work just like a hinge, and they're a lot faster to cut than hinges. Now a lot of times you'll see me cut them like farther through on one side, the side I want it to lean towards, and it'll kind of fall into the curve and sit on the curve a little bit, and then you can break it free and toss it. So this will give us a good view of a brake cut, snap cut, brake cut. 1.5 turns. Got a little back weight here. That's gonna help me. So because I had back weight, I didn't go all the way past center. I went to center, but there was still more on this side than this side. So came to, actually ended up being that the pith. But that way, because I had a little bit of a back lead, it kind of sat this way. But the kerf isn't thick enough for it to like break all the way off of there. So you're able to put your saw away and then push it off. Might as well just work this thing all the way down. Nothing wrong with short trunk. That's my famous saying. Jacob Rogers says, well, I haven't heard of it. Must not be famous. Well, it's a little more famous now. Nothing wrong with a short trunk. Just remember that. Anytime you want to say, oh, should I do it? Well, nothing wrong with short trunk. Never got in trouble for having a trunk on the ground safe, right? So it sits in the kerf, and then you can just break it off of here. And we got it to land flat. It's like, who needs a hinge? Who needs a notch? 2 cuts, boom, boom. They're very handy. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Gotta be careful, because if you cut all the way through there, it can slip off and the top can come backwards. You know, on a slant like this can just slip out. And then boom, you get hit. So I was anticipating that, and so I wanted to leave a little bit of wood that I could break off. Now if we had 2 people here, we'd throw a line in this and we'd pull it over. But when you're by yourself, you gotta do solo techniques. Keep my arms stiff and deliberate. I'm putting it above my head in the tree. You devil. Where's my stupid wind? Wow. You bank on the wind. 1/2-inch hinge. Cut that with my handsaw there. So hinge was a little thick. All right, time to do some felling. I'm just gonna leave that rope in there and pull it over. Make it easier to go down. I feel like I might be getting some white pine pitch in my akimbo. That's disconcerting. Everybody knows what pitch and akimbos do. Burn it out of there. Ugh. Go. Plenty of hinge, and the hinge stayed all the way until they hit those logs and then bounced up. So we had a crosswind, so I headed directly across, but it's a little bit of a southwest wind, so we had a little bit of push. Plenty of hinge to hold the sideway. I should have been thinner on this side versus this side, but I just wanted to keep an inch over here, and I ended up leaving just a little bit more than an inch on that side. But this was the side holding against the wind, but an inch was plenty. Okay. Bit of, I actually was coming up. I saw that I was a little low to the hinge, but I made it do this. Walk out there with the rope, or pull it over. Okay. Well, why don't we do this? Well, it's Game of Trees. It's sunset behind me. We made a big mess today in about, I don't know, 3 hours, give or take. So, time for supper. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
There's always a risk when you're playing the game of trees.